What's going on today, guys? It is Crossing Line with Dev, and look, we actually have some sports news to get into today, and I'm happy about that. I have missed sports. Um, you know, look, baseball is I love baseball, and I can watch it every day. But with the amount of games, it's hard to be invested in every single game, every news story about every team. So baseball just kind of is the best sport to go and watch in person, roughly, and it has incredible playoffs. It's just hard to watch every single game. Like I can watch every Dodgers game, but I can't keep up with all 30 teams. Watching every game of all 30 teams is just nearly impossible. But let's get into some MLB news first. Then we'll talk about some NFL news. Not a lot. Then we'll talk about some NBA news. And then we'll kind of round it off with some entertainment, movies, TV, all that. I love talking about that stuff, so I'm always going to talk about it. All right. I think we all saw this story about Shohei getting sued for $240 million by a Hawaii real estate company. So let me kind of read off the story and then I'll give my thoughts and like what actually happened. So, according to the lawsuit filed in Hawaii Circuit Court on Friday, Ohtani's agent Nez Balelo, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, increasingly demanded concessions from developer Kevin J. Hayes Sr. and real estate broker Tomoko Matsumoto before demanding that their business partner Kingsbarn Realty Capital drop them from the deal. Balelo and Ohtani, who were brought into the venture solely for Ohtani's promotional and branding value, exploited their celebrity leverage to destabilize and ultimately dismantle plaintiffs' role in the project for no reason other than their own financial self-interest. So, kind of what I'm reading, what actually happened is these two guys approached Ohtani specifically because he was one of the most famous athletes in the world. And then they got upset and he acted like a famous person and used his celebrity leverage. The only reason they approached him is because he's has celebrity leverage. Also, for no reason other than their own financial self-interest is kind of a dumb thing to accuse someone in a promotional deal. They asked Ohtani to promote the project and in return get financial benefit, whether it be from lowered cost of housing, whether it be from literally him receiving money for promoting the entire venture in Hawaii. But of course, he and his agent should act in their own financial interest. What other interest would they possibly have besides financial? Some deep seated passion for rich person, $240 million real estate projects. Look, I don't think this has a lot of legs to stand on. This is a promotional deal. And guess what? He promoted it. He said that he wanted to put his off-season home there and train there, and because he loved Hawaii, it's a beautiful place. He loved where he was living. He loved the community in which he bought his house from. I don't see where Ohtani went wrong, and I think this is all just a money ploy, and this is eventually just kind of going to get ruled. I don't even think Ohtani's going to have to pay any money. That every judge is just going to be like, "Look, this is what you asked for. He gave it to you. Let's leave it at that." He didn't get or gain anything that he was not supposed to. He promoted the hell out of the company. He got a house. He paid for it. And now they're like, well, why'd you do that? Well, guess what? Because you hired me to do that. This is just another story of a rich person getting sued for money. Look, there are times where there have legs to stand on, but then there are times where people are just suing to see if they can get money out of it. Sometimes they win, but I think this is a story that is clearly false, is not true. And if I'm wrong, I'll eat my words. But reading everything that I'm reading, I don't know how they have any legs to stand on in this story. Ohtani's gonna blow past this. This is all right. Another Ohtani story. Did you see that the Dodgers wanted to sign him for 15 years, which would make him 44 at the time that the contract ended? And he said that he didn't want to be locked down for that long. He didn't want to have a team be locked down for that long. So he denied that, but 15 years? Can you imagine how much money he got if he got 15 years worth of contractual money? That's insane. I mean, every team would have done it. It's Ohtani. He's the best player in the world at both offense and defense, which is nuts. Not only the best defensive player, but I'm talking pitcher. He's the best pitcher in the world when he's healthy. And he's the best, I guess you could say, batter in the world as well. Every team would have done it. I would have done it. If I had the money, I would have done it. I'm sure that there were AAA teams. I'm sure that there were teams all across the world going, we will give you everything that you want as long as you come play for us, because he has that much star power. Even non-baseball fans, people who do not watch baseball at all, I'm talking like the general public, you can go ask anybody in the world, they probably know who Ohtani is because he has that star power. Aaron Judge is close, but it's not Ohtani level. It's not. It's like LeBron. Non-NBA fans know who LeBron is. He is that guy. He brings that much star power. And so I'm not surprised that the Dodgers offered him 15. I wouldn't even be surprised if they offered him 30 years. Hey, just be on the team, sit on the bench. We'll just make money because people want to come see you. You know what I mean? It's like old rock bands traveling around the world and doing tours still. They haven't made any new music. They haven't had any songs on the charts just because they bring that much star power. Drake, Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson, like there are just people that break the barrier of what they're doing and go beyond recognition for just what they do, for just the fans of what they do. Non NBA fans know who LeBron is. Non MLB fans know who Ohtani is. Non rap fans know who Drake is. It's just that much star power. Not everybody in the world knows who Jack Harlow is. Great rapper, makes great music, but he's not Drake. Drake just breaks that barrier of success. Every record label, if Drake was open right now, every record label would want him. Hell, he could probably make his own record label. He probably has his own record label, but the point is, like, Ohtani just breaks that barrier. You don't even need him to play and start every single game for him to bring the value back to the business that you're in. Just announcing that he'll be at the stadium and possibly even play will bring thousands and thousands of fans wearing his jersey, wearing his any product that he sells. Just breaks that barrier. Everybody would want a picture with Drake. There's probably 80-year-old white women who don't ever listen to rap that know who Drake is that would want to take a picture of him. Oprah's the same way. Obama, even if you're not a politics person, you know who Obama is. There's just people that break that barrier. And Ohtani is that guy. He is that guy. He is so famous in Japan. He has loads and loads of sponsorship deals with various companies. I'm talking like cologne companies, skincare companies. It's insane. Michael Phelps, I'm sure, maybe was there at one point. Nobody went and watched him swim, not during the Olympics, unless you were just a massive swim fan, right? But we damn sure watched him every single Olympic race because he was that great and everybody knew who he was. That's why I love Ohtani. I loved Ohtani before that. Just to see someone play both offensive defense, that's why I am excited for Travis Hunter, because if he is incredible at both, he will break that barrier of success. He will. Tom Brady broke that barrier of success. Not everybody was a Pats fan. I luckily was an Eagles fan and got to watch him get beat in the Super Bowl. But unfortunately, But unfortunately, everybody just knew who Tom Brady was because they broke that barrier. Now, I know I kind of went on a spiel about people breaking the barriers of success, but that's why I'm not surprised Ohtani got $15 million. Or, sorry, he got offered a 15-year contract. Could have been 30, and I probably still wouldn't be surprised. But let's move on to some NFL news. Not a lot. The first thing I want to talk about, remember, we talked about Shamar Stewart and how he was one of the only rookies holding out for an extended contract. I thought maybe he would go back to college instead of signing with the Bengals. But they got into a pretty big brawl at practice the other day because Shamar Stewart, already kind of looked down upon probably from his teammates for holding out, decided to hit Joe Burrow at practice. Nobody's supposed to hit the QB. Nobody. And he hits QB. A couple plays later, they got into a huge brawl. Huge brawl. So I'm curious to see how that kind of develops. If he's hated a lot by his teammates because of that reason. If not, maybe they just move past it and it's okay, but you're not supposed to hit your star QB at practice. Maybe a second string guy, possibly probably still get into a fight, but Joe Burrow, top 3 QB in the league, gonna hit him at practice. He's your teammate. You cannot have that guy hurt. Every time he's hurt, the Bengals suck. Every time he's healthy, guess what? They're great. He took him to the Super Bowl. So we'll see how that story develops. I'm sure it's probably nothing, but watching brawls on Twitter and Reddit, especially from a rookie who I thought was probably going to hold out, but we shall see. Patriots safety Kyle Duggar, remember, he used to be an incredible safety, is now battling for his job. It seems like he got demoted to second team. Kyle Duggar. Kyle Duggar. He was incredible. Vrabel was asked, and he said just making sure he's where he needs to be and understanding the coverage concepts and everything we do. So maybe it's because he's just not understanding their defensive playbook. I'm not sure. Maybe he's getting older, or maybe they just have an incredible star power cornerback that's overtaken him. But he signed a 4-year, $58 million contract, and now he's on the second team. That's paying a lot of money to a guy who's not starting. Curious to see what happens with that. If Vrabel, if he figures out the coverage and does what he needs to do, he'll probably just be first string. But $58 million to play second string, that's crazy. I'm sure that there are teams out there who would want Kyle Duggar to be their star, but maybe they're just drafting great and they don't need him anymore. Brian Flores, remember, was suing the NFL for, I guess you could say, yeah, for discrimination in the hiring process of the NFL when it comes to hiring coaches. Remember, every team that needs a coach is supposed to give an interview to a minority, but that doesn't really force change. That kind of just says, hey, do this, but you can still go a different route. Brian Flores, there are times where black coaches are way more than qualified and way better of a candidate than a lot of the coaches that get hired. And so, yes, there is discrimination in the process when it comes to hiring NFL head coaches. I mean, remember when, can't remember his first name, when that Patriots special teams coach got hired as the head coach of the Giants? There were way better minority coaches out there, and he got hired over them. That's the time when I was like, wow, there is clear discrimination when it comes to the hiring process of NFL head coaches, even non-head coaches when it comes to hiring. But the court ruled that he has legs to stand on against 3 teams, and guess what? They're going to trial, which is not good for the NFL and great for Brian Flores and great for the future of hiring minority head coaches. So they're going to be in court, they're going to go to trial, and it seems like the NFL is either going to have to pay a lot of money or change a process or both. I'm hoping it's both because none of us want to see discrimination in this process. And if you do, I definitely don't agree with how you think. But it should go to the best coach. It shouldn't go to only minorities. It shouldn't go to only white head coaches. It should go to who is the best coach for the job. And a lot of times it's minorities. A lot of times. And so I agree with Brian Flores in this situation. He got discriminated against. And now, guess what? He's going to sue and hopefully create change. It should have changed years ago. It should not have taken this to create this change. So I'm happy that they ruled that they're going to trial. It's going to be a long time. You know how trial works. They could extend this for years before anything actual happens. But it's just good that there's actually being change made and that the NFL is, I guess you could say, getting in trouble, getting a finger pointed at and saying, you're in the wrong here. You need to fix this. And I hope it gets fixed in the best way possible, not just a band aid on a deep cut. I hope that actual change gets made. And I think we all want that. I think we do. Some NFL or some NBA news. We're going to talk a little bit about free agents and who's still available, and then we're going to talk about the Lakers. So, some notable players that are still available for free agency. Malcolm Brogdon. He's 32, but he is good enough to play quality basketball on a good team. He's a good point guard. He played for, he was okay on the Wizards. I think he averaged probably somewhere around like 10 to 15 points, somewhere in that market. But he's probably the best player available still. Josh Giddey. Remember, he comes with a lot of baggage. He got in trouble for having a relationship with an underage girl. So I'm assuming that's probably why he's still a free agent. Is he a good player? Yeah. Yeah. But I don't know how many teams want that baggage. You don't want someone who thinks like that. That can create a lot of drama surrounding your team. Quentin Grimes is still available. Al Horford still available. Jonathan Kuminga. I'm baffled by the Kuminga situation because he is a great player. He can give you a lot of spark, a lot of offensive spark. And it's clear that he knows what he's doing and he's good. But then he kind of got benched during the playoffs, didn't get a lot of playing time. And it seems like Steve Kerr's still iffy. I don't know if the Golden State Warriors are going to re-sign him. I'm not sure what's going to happen. Kuminga is good enough to play on a team, especially like a bench guy coming and playing, 15, 20 minutes. He can give you a lot of offensive spark. I'm surprised that Kuminga is still available. CP3 was on this list, but then remember, he reunited with the Clippers. Gary Payton II, Cam Thomas, 24-point average last season, is still a free agent. Still a free agent. And then Russell Westbrook. Don't know what's going to happen there. Is he going to retire? Is he going to find another team? Russell Westbrook is still available. It's crazy to think that at one time he was like getting cemented as an absolute Hall of Fame inductee, won an MVP for averaging a triple-double in a season, and he's still available as a free agent now. He's had a lot of bad years. The Lakers. I'm a pseudo Lakers fan. I'm not I just love LeBron and Luka, so I think a lot of people feel like I am a Lakers fan. I'm not a Lakers fan per se, but I am a fan of LeBron. I am a fan of Luka. And so I think a lot of people end up thinking that I'm a Lakers fan, but they're interesting. They always sign big name players. They signed LeBron, they won a title. They traded for Luka last year, which was unforeseen, crazy, not expecting it one bit at all. And so, what's going to happen there? They signed DeAndre Ayton. They signed, oh man, what's his name? Anyways, they made some notable offseason. Oh, Marcus Smart. Sorry. They signed Marcus Smart. I love Marcus Smart. Marcus Smart gives a lot of hype off the bench, plays a lot of good defense, can give you spark on offense at times, has hit big shots. We remember him playing for the Celtics. There was a lot of love when he left. When he left the Celtics, remember when he came back, they made the video for him. People love Marcus Smart, and he plays damn hard. But then it's Marcus Smart, DeAndre Ayton, who's pretty on and off. Teams have gotten frustrated with him. He did go to an NBA Finals. They lost, but he has played in the finals before. But you're relying a lot on LeBron and Luka to do everything. Luka, I think you can put that much on his shoulders, but LeBron's getting old. He's still incredible. He is still one of the best players in the NBA at his age of 41? Nears the age of 41? But that's a lot of pressure and a lot of weight on LeBron's shoulders at 41. To ask Luka to play 48 minutes a game in the entire season is asking a lot. Even if he can, and even if he's going to average fucking 40 points a game. But you're asking a lot when it's just that. And I think this is the first time ever in LeBron's career where the focus of the team isn't just around him. And it's weird to see that. Luka is a top 3 player in the NBA. And so when you have that on your team, it's not LeBron's team anymore. It's not. And I think that confused him at first on whether he wanted to continue, go to a different team who's going to put all their eggs in his basket or what. But this is the first time in LeBron's career where he's not the guy on the team. He's, in my opinion, the best player of all time. And it is weird to see him hit a point where he's not that guy anymore. Now, I'm assuming if it wasn't Luka, he would still be the guy. Just Luka is one of the few guys where it creates that on the team. It creates that dynamic on the team. Luka is the guy of the future, and LeBron was the guy of the NBA for decades. Almost decades. Now, I don't think they have enough to win a championship. They have the talent. I just don't think you can put that much weight on both those guys' shoulders and ask them to do it all. I mean, look at who won the chip this year. The Oklahoma City Thunder had guy after guy after guy in every position, had guys coming off the bench that could do it. They didn't need to have only one guy or two guys play 48 minutes a game and do it all. You just can't. They play a ton of games, 82 games or whatever, plus the playoffs, plus the finals. That's a lot of games and a lot of minutes. Have you ever went and played 48 minutes of any sport as hard as you can? Wake up the next day and see how you feel. And to do that, every other day and not get hurt, not get tired, not need a minute. Because if LeBron or Luka have a day where they take off, You're probably losing that game, so you can't ask them to do that all the time. Now, if they were playing 30 to 38 minutes a game, had guys coming off the bench that could give spark and keep them at least in it for the rest of the game, I think you may have the making of a chip, but I don't think you can just ask two guys to do that. I think that's why Curry is like why the Warriors aren't what the Warriors were. You cannot ask Steph Curry, even though he probably could do it and probably do it better than most in the world, do it better than most. But to ask him to do that every night, 48 minutes, oof, that's tough. Now, I think the Lakers are definitely a playoff team. I just don't think they have the bench to be a finals competitor. I don't. And I love LeBron. I love Luka. I just don't think they have the guys on the bench. I think it was different when it was the bubble because everybody was there. Everybody was there to do one thing and they didn't have to travel. They didn't have to do all the rest. They were in a hotel playing basketball for months. And so they were only asked to do that. But to travel all across the country, world even, that's hard. That's tough. Travel sucks. Nobody likes flying on a plane. But then to play 48 minutes, take a little bit of a nap because you're not getting back to the hotel until like mad late, 1 in the morning, wake up early, take a flight across the country of 6 to 8 hours, then have to do a practice. The time is different. Take a nap, wake up, and then play and do it all over again. That's tough. I don't think any normal human could do that. Definitely going to be a playoff team, though. It could just be those two against five, and they'd probably still make the playoffs. But I just don't think you can compete against an Oklahoma City team that's that deep. When the Celtics are all healthy, a Celtics team that was that deep, that's hard. Now, let's move on to non-sports related stuff. Oh, man. I don't know what to say about Marvel. They're in a bad spot. They are not in a good spot. Their flagship movie of the year did not perform in the way it was expected to. And now it seems like they're putting all their eggs in Spider-Man and Doomsday basket. And I'm just blown away by how much this movie underperformed. It started off so hot. I mean, you can blame that that Superman took all the attention away and that it was failure after failure of movies just led to this. I don't know. I don't know. They are going to break even on this movie, and this is their flagship movie of the year. They may not even break even. I mean, they're at like $440 million worldwide right now, which is great. But when you're spending $450 million to make the movie and to market it, breaking even is not what you want. Nobody goes into the business to break even. You go into the business to make profit, and they're not making profit right now. They're not. I mean, luckily Disney is not losing money because they have parks all over the year. They make animated movies that do millions of dollars or that make tons of money. They have IP after IP after IP that makes money. They sell product in every store. Every clothing store has you know, a kid shirt with a Disney princess or Disney animated character on it. Like they don't lose money, but I don't know how many movies they can make where they're failing before they go, maybe we shouldn't do that. And what sucks is that they're probably just going to cut cost, and that's not what we want because that makes the movie less epic. You're not going to have the name of characters or names of actors. You're not going to have the big names. You're not going to have CGI that's done by Weta and done incredibly well, or whatever, whoever their animation team is. We're not going to see any TV shows probably other than Daredevil because they've already filmed it. Ironheart didn't do well. It keeps dropping like 60% after every week, which means less and less and less and less and less people are going to see it. It's not good. And they're not getting the overseas viewership that they're used to. The Asia market is just not seeing superhero films anymore. I don't know why. I'm not sure what the reason behind that is. But they lost a lot of movie theaters. They probably lost a lot of IMAX screens. They're getting beat out by movies like Jurassic World and Weapons and other movies. Like $450 million made is not a success, but when you're spending that much money to make the film, they were expecting a lot more of a success. And Superman just blew them out of the water. Blew them out of the water. Maybe it's just the excitement of a Superman IP and the rejuvenation and change of a universe. I'm not sure, but if Marvel does this, they have something fail and then they go, look over here, but we're doing this really cool thing. And then if you keep doing that and these things keep failing, people are just going to stop going. For real. And I know it has a lot to do with just the movie market just not performing the way it was used to. Like outside of superhero films, the movie market's just not doing as good as it used to, but I don't know. I don't know. I think Superman is at like almost $600 million. 600 million is a lot. I didn't think that movie was going to do that well. I thought it was going to be flip flopped. I thought Superman was going to do, like that 500, maybe $500 million mark. And the Fantastic Four was going to be upwards of 6, 7 plus. If Fantastic Four was at like $600 million, $650 million, nobody would even be talking about it. But the fact that it keeps dropping 60% after every week, it's going to go to digital soon. I don't know how many movie theaters are going to hold a movie that nobody's going to see, because then the movie theater's not making any money. But Brave New World fell like 70%. Thunderbolts fell like 60% in their second weekend. And now you have Fantastic Four dropping 66% every week. It's not what you want to see from Marvel. So that just means we're going to get less movies with less budget, and it's not going to be as epic. Especially if Doomsday and Secret Wars fail. I don't know. But guess what? It seems like we're definitely going to get a new Batman, but I'm not sure yet if it's going to be in the universe of James Gunn's DCU. If it's a standalone movie, that's just going to be kind of weird. I'm not sure why they would do that. I hope that they bring it into the universe. I just think James Gunn wants to create everything in his universe. And there's a contract to do the Batmans written by I can't remember his name right now, but written by the guy that wrote the last Patterson, James Patterson Batman. But we're going to get a new, what is it? We are getting a new Peacemaker season, and that seems like it's going to be in the universe. That's going to be cool. Wednesday just dropped its second season. I've started currently watching Wednesday. It is a pretty damn good show. We're going to get Stranger Things at the end of this year. We have a lot to look forward to. I'm just curious to see what it's going to be like in 10 years. It feels like everybody my age, like maybe watches the big shows that come out, but mostly just watches YouTube. So I'm not sure if we'll even, like, are people just going to drop movies on YouTube now? Like, I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen in 10 years. Nobody really watches TV. There is no need to pay for like DirecTV right now. No need. You can watch any content you want. You want to watch sports related content? Watch it on YouTube. I mean, the biggest sports show in the world, I'm assuming, if I'm not mistaken, other than like Sports Center, is the Pat McAfee show. And he wrote it in his contract that we need to continue doing it free on YouTube. And they let him do it because that's where the success is. That's where the success is leading. There's probably TikTok stars making more money on their TikToks than like a lot of these shows make on networks, which is crazy. That's why every sport is doing their contract for like rights to air their sports product through like Netflix and Apple TV, and they're not doing it with just direct TV anymore. They're not they still get viewerships on the big games, but that's why they're doing these contracts with not cable only cable companies anymore. It's a lot of online digital stuff. So I'm curious to see how that affects the movie making scene. I mean, obviously we've seen it where they're making movies on Netflix, made by Netflix, and they're pretty damn good movies. Some of them are not good, but Netflix is creating their own IP now. You don't need to wait for it to come out in theaters. You can just watch it drop on Netflix on July 16th when you already pay $20 a month. Apple TV, same thing. I mean, you think in 20 years, we might not even have cable products. People are just going to pay subscriptions to the services that they want to watch. But you can practically watch most of this stuff free. I mean, you could watch like most movies on TikTok right now if you wanted to. It's just not where we're at anymore. I mean, most people probably, if you have internet, and it like with Starlink, you can put a Starlink thing on your house, pay just for the Starlink device and get internet right now for free outside of just paying for the device. We're just going to these like subscription services constantly. And I'm curious to see if that's how it evolves. I mean, I think it's still going to be a minute before we see like a Super Bowl just solely on Netflix. But they do other big flagship stuff. I mean, remember during COVID when Black Widow, you could literally watch on Disney Plus for $20 at your house the day it dropped. You didn't need to go in theaters. I mean, granted, nobody could, but they're already doing that. They're probably going to go to that. Say, hey, instead of coming to our theater and paying $40 for food and tickets and all that, how about you just sit at home, watch it the day it drops for 25 bucks? A lot of us would probably do that. We'd save money doing that. Even though $25 feels like a lot, we'd probably save money doing that. And if you have, it's probably cheaper to release it like that. I'm assuming that they're doing like a split with the theater. They're not making 100% of the profit. They're probably making some sort of split. Or they probably do it where they say, hey, we'll let you air this movie in the theater and then you make money off all the other products that you sell, like food and tickets and all that. I'm not sure. But I think it's going to be in 10 years. You can just watch the movie drop the day it comes out for a fee. Or pay some subscription service that has the movie the first day, pay $20 a month and watch it. Not sure. But we'll stay updated on all the other shows. I know I talk about Marvel a lot and DC. It's just because I enjoy that. But I do love other stuff. I would love to talk about anime and other Netflix shows that drop and other stuff, other Apple TV products. Like I watch a lot of content. I just, I do. I like enjoying watching content on subscription services and definitely YouTube. It's kind of a short podcast today. I know it's probably a little bit more enjoyable when I have a guest on, and I'm sorry for that. I just don't like bugging my friends to do this because it does take a little bit of time out of their day. and they're usually busy doing other stuff. But they're when it comes to the NFL season, my dad will be on. When Stranger Things drops or new Marvel products drop, I'll have my other friends on to, like Jamie or anybody to come talk with me. But I do appreciate you guys hanging in there, watching me every week, enjoying the content that I put out on, TikTok and Instagram and all that. So I will see you guys next week. See you guys next Friday. Check out my socials to see my other content. I know I need to start making TikToks that aren't just my podcast. When I have some sort of thought process going on, I go, hey, TikTok, how do you feel about this or whatever? But I do appreciate you guys stopping by, checking out the podcast. And I will see you guys next week. Hopefully, we have some more sports news, some more entertainment news. Thank you guys so much. Leave a like, comment, subscribe. Have a good week. Peace.